Hi, JC here. In the onion world, I'm what's called a super colossal. They don't grow them any bigger or badder than me. I'm top of the line here at the J.C. Watson Company, one of the largest and most innovative onion growers and distributors in the U.S. Heck, I'm even named after this guy here, J.C. Watson, the founder of the company. When the Outback Steakhouse first opened, they had an idea for a signature appetizer that sent them on a search for the ultimate onion. Research told them that we grow some of the finest onions in the world right here in Parma, Idaho. That's when Outback founder Tim Gannon flew out and sat down with John Watson, the third-generation owner, whose grandfather started the company back in 1912, to talk about what would become Outback's famous bloomin' onion. Well, as luck would have it, John's brother Rick had been developing a new seed variety called the Vaquero, which is known for growing large single-center onions. That fit the bill just right for Outback. Now, at the time, the biggest onion being grown was the Colossal, but Outback wanted something bigger, so they came up with me, the Super Colossal, a jump from 4 inches to a giant 4¼ bulb. That meeting began a partnership that's remained strong for 30 years. And today, the J.C. Watson Company supplies a big chunk of the more than 280,000 bloomin' onions Outback sells each and every week. Today, we'd like to show you just what goes into growing one of the world's favorite dining treats. So what makes the perfect bloomin' onion? Well, aside from being big, it has to have a consistent, uniform shape, along with a single center, so it'll open up nice and even when the Outback chefs work their magic to make it bloom. Everybody agreed that the Vaquero had lots of potential, but the true test would come in the growing. There's a whole lot more to the planting process than just sticking some seeds in the ground and adding water. In many ways, this is the most critical step, because it sets up everything else that'll happen. And that's where the Watsons' flair for innovation comes into play. You see, besides being the 4th generation of this onion-growing family, Brad Watson is also a mechanical engineer. And he used those skills to design a unique 8-bed onion planter that combines 3 separate planting processes into one.
Before, to do this same production took us 6 tractor drivers and 6 different tractors. Today we've consolidated that into one large tractor using GPS technology and a custom toolbar that allows us to plant, fertilize, and install tape in one pass. That's really allowed us to concentrate on our spacing using precision vacuum planting technology, precision in-row fertility, and precision alignment of our tape by doing that all in one pass.
Everything is run by an onboard computer that can be programmed to plant seeds with extremely precise and consistent spacing. For the biggest onions on the planet, that sometimes means staggering the rows so we can grow bigger without bumping into each other. That also gives us a more uniform shape and size.
In addition to the planting that we're doing, we're also injecting fertility right into the seed trench next to the seed. That allows us to put fertility right next to where that young seedling is going to need it when it starts growing. This planter bar was designed by myself and a local welding shop to incorporate these monostem row units along with the tape and the packing wheel that's underneath here that allows us to firm the bed. The other thing that we're doing is by putting the tape in at the same time, we are able to have that tape uniformly spaced from our row of onions. And that allows us to really meter the water out throughout the growing season. And that's really important to us because we're putting fertility through the water, and if that tape is shifted to one side or the other, one side of the bed is going to get more nutrients and more water than the other, and you're going to end up with not as consistent of a product at the end of the day.
Once the onions are in the ground and growing, it becomes a waiting game. It's a lot like putting a cake in the oven. All you can really do is watch and wait. That lasts until October, when it's time for harvest. The crop is brought to a sorting area where the onions are sorted by hand as well as by computer to make sure Outback is getting the largest possible number of onions that are the right size and shape to become bloomin' onions. We like to get real comfortable here in storage because after we're harvested in October, some of us could be sitting here a while. Now, us super colossals like to chill out at just the right temperature and humidity. The Watsons have that dialed in with their advanced climate-controlled storage. You see, onions are unique among all other produce in that with all our layers, we like low humidity. In fact, it's so important that the Watsons actually try to control humidity first and temperature second. To accomplish that, John and Brad once again followed the family tradition of innovation by bringing in an innovative European storage system, the first of its kind in the U.S. It allows them to keep onions harvested in October in peak condition clear into May.
And this new storage incorporates a lot of new technologies, all the way from the style and design of bin to the air system that allows us to really precisely control both temperature and humidity. This allows the air to be ducted through each bin individually to exhaust. In addition to the way the air is ducted through the bins, we're able to break this air system up into multiple zones, somewhat equivalent to dual climate control in your car. To get this done, they have a solid floor and a slotted top. This turns this whole fork pocket into a duct, which when hits this foam cushion on the end of the bin, forces the air up through the bin of onion, and then it is exhausted out of the top and the sides. This computer is the brains of the operation, and it takes information from our 8 temperature probes inside humidity, our outside humidity, and our outside temperature, and turns our fans on and off, up and down, opens outside air doors, turns refrigeration on and off, along with heaters, to achieve the lowest possible humidity we can with the given conditions. It controls up to the 12 fans that we have split into the 6 zones and is able to ramp those zones independently of one another, given information from the probes and based on the algorithm and what we're trying to achieve with the onions.
In today's world, year-round demand for product, along with high-speed, high-tech shipping options, allow growers to get extremely fresh produce to their customers, not just all across the country, but all around the world. Making sure Outback has a solid year-round supply of the biggest and best onions in the world is a job the J.C. Watson Company takes very seriously. Every agricultural area has a limited growing season, made even more unpredictable by Mother Nature. But even innovations like the Watson's bin air storage system doesn't allow for year-round distribution. So, taking another page from his grandfather's innovation playbook, John has spent years cultivating relationships with onion growers across North America and globally that he monitors and manages just like his own crops. These connections give the Watsons real-time access to onion yields and availability on a year-round basis. And that keeps clients like Outback supplied all year, every year, with red onions for their salads, and of course, super colossals like me for their incredible bloomin' onions. All the layers that make me the premier onion in the industry are the product of similar layers in the planting, growing, and storing process, and managing distribution adds even more. Each and every one of those layers is something the J.C. Watson Company takes to heart, utilizing the latest in ag technology while towing a hard line on environmental responsibility. Yes, sir, I'm mighty proud to be the product of 4 generations of Watson family business savvy that's consistently exceeded customer expectations. And they'll keep right on doing that with the family tradition of innovation that keeps them at the forefront of the onion business. Well, thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed learning about our Idaho operation, but now I've got to run. One of your Outback chefs wants to see me back in the kitchen. I got a feeling I'm about to bloom.